because Jeffrey Curley fought. He struggled, he scratched, he clawed with every ounce of might that his 10-year-old body could muster. You saw the autopsy photos. I'm sorry for having to introduce those so that you have to look at them. Nobody likes to look at those photos, but this is a first-degree murder case.
Earlier, the prosecution introduced the Rubbermaid container which became Jeffrey's tomb, and receipts and store security videos showing clearly Charles Jaynes and Sal Sicari purchased the container.
It's uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen, but I urge you, when you consider this issue, to think about how Jeffrey Curley died. It was Salvatore Sicari who had control over Jeffrey Curley. The evidence screams that. He got that tarp to cover Jeffrey Curley's body in the court.
I never hurt him! I never hurt him!
After sobbing for parts of 2 days, Jaynes snapped, his wailing infuriating Jeffrey Curley's relatives. After a half-hour break, Jaynes decided he'd heard enough.
Mr. Jaynes, do I understand that you do not wish to be present in the courtroom for the remainder of the trial?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Jaynes was allowed to sit out the rest of the closing arguments. Earlier, the defense contended the state purposely depicted Jaynes as an undesirable person.
If we tar them with it enough, no matter what we introduce to juries, it'll stick. Because they'll be so poisoned by it, they'll convict them of anything we put in front of them.
This whole idea of taking this little boy, murdering him, suggest to you it excited them.
No way, no way did the Commonwealth convince you beyond a reasonable doubt that this man committed first-degree murder.
2 men picked up this boy. 2 men murdered him. 2 men got caught. 2 men are guilty. I ask you now to find one of those men guilty of murder in the first degree. Because Jeffrey Curley fought. He struggled, he scratched, he clawed with every ounce of might that his 10-year-old body could muster. You saw the autopsy photos. I'm sorry for having to introduce those so that you have to look at them. Nobody likes to look at those photos, but this is a first-degree murder case.
It's unconscionable that someone wouldn't have prevented this death. Therefore, they must have participated in it. And I asked Detective Fulkerson, is that why you charged him with murder? And he said yes. That's why.
It was Salvatore Sicari who had control over Jeffrey Curley. The evidence screams that.
This man right here, Charles Jaynes, he killed that young boy. He seduced him and he killed him. Sicari did nothing to stop it. As reprehensible, despicable, disgusting as that is, he did nothing. But he did not commit murder in the first degree.
It's uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen, but I urge you, when you consider this issue, to think about how Jeffrey Curley died.
Charles Jaynes, the man actually charged with smothering Jeffrey Curley, was followed into court by his alleged accomplice and former sexual partner, Salvatore Sicari. Both now deny the charges.
What say you to this indictment, sir?
Not guilty.
And on indictment 97-2317, count 2, you're charged with kidnapping. What say you to that indictment?
Not guilty.
It was Sicari's statement which actually broke the case. The Commonwealth statement of fact indicating Sicari told police the pair had picked up Jeffrey Curley, then stopped for gas, some of which Jaynes used to soak a rag brought into the car. Then it's alleged Jaynes demanded sex from Jeffrey and he refused. Jaynes then placed the rag over Jeffrey's mouth while Jeffrey furiously struggled. According to Sicari, it took some time for Jeffrey to stop struggling. At the arraignment, one of Jeffrey Curley's brothers was taken from the courtroom after he erupted briefly, alleging Salvatore Sicari actually winked at him across the courtroom. Pretrial conferences are planned for January, and defense attorneys are expected to begin moving for a change of venue.
So do you think your client will get a fair trial?
We certainly hope so, and it may require a transfer to another county.
Will you ask for that?
I will, yes, at some later point in time.
I asked him what kind of trouble he was in, and he told me that he had hurt somebody really bad.
Sal Sicari's old girlfriend remembering a phone conversation with the defendant the day Jeffrey Curley was killed. When Sicari compared his trouble to a fatal accident they had discussed earlier, Charlene Letourneau concluded it was murder.
I said, "You're on the phone telling me that you just killed somebody and you have no remorse." And he said, "I could give two. It's like a bowl of cereal to me. I could either eat it or walk away from it."
Earlier, the prosecution introduced the Rubbermaid container which became Jeffrey's tomb, and receipts and store security videos showing clearly Charles Jaynes and Sal Sicari purchased the container.
I work for the Home Depot.
A Home Depot security chief explaining another security tape from a store, this one showing Sicari, then Jaynes carrying bags of cement. Cement prosecutors say was used to weight down the container. The prosecution's puzzle is taking shape piece by piece, but Charlene Letourneau provided the punctuation, telling a story even she couldn't believe until the case began to break.
What did you learn the next day, Miss Letourneau?
That Charlie was arrested for a kidnapping and that he was with him the day before that.